In this day and age, many non-profit organizations and do-gooders face one major challenge: sustainability. How can you help people in society and do good on a continuous long-term scale? One highly favored answer is social enterprises. Today on Shujaa, we highlight the makers of Kazuri Beads and get to see just how they are managing to sustain themselves and the needy women around them. I'm Linda Kroeger and this is Shujaa.
I'm the sales and marketing manager at Kazuri. Kazuri means something small and beautiful in English. And Kazuri started sometimes in 1975. The objective of this project is basically to help disadvantaged members of the Kenyan society, especially single mothers. At the moment, we employ over 340 women who mostly are single mothers. We have a few men here and there who are doing the manual work. And our basic mission statement here is to assist, basically to help the single mothers. So our mission statement is to avail employment for these women who mostly are single mothers. We obviously have got some challenges, especially we have with the local market. Our business is like 60 export, 40% local, and you find that most of the Kenyan market do not know about Kazuri. And I think the objective of you being here, WTV being here in Kazuri, is to assist us get into the local market, which is one of our major challenges. Most of the local market has got a perception that we are expensive, but we are not. All our prices are very pocket friendly, and we want Kenyans to support us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at Kazuri Beads Limited, and I have with me John Kimani, and he's going to be taking us on a tour, and we'll get to see and interact with the wonderful people who work here to give us the beautiful Kazuri products. Join us on this beautiful journey. So where are we heading out to?
We are heading to the clay processing area.
Okay.
Where it all starts. Because our beads are made out of clay.
Where do you get the clay from?
The clay is from Mount Kenya. But I understand in the year 1975 to the middle of the year 1990, they were getting it from the UK and South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't know that we have our own supply.
All right, so now we are getting it.
Yeah, it's locally available.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what happens here?
Okay, as I was saying a moment ago, the beads are made out of this clay, which we collect from Mount Kenya. And this is now the processing plant. And this is how we do it. It is a special clay, because what you see now from here, this is its primary color. But after we bake it, it goes to 1,000 degrees Celsius. And this high temperature makes it very tough or makes it very strong. Unlike the other clay we get from other places bakes for between 500 and 600 Celsius. And again, a point to note is that the higher the temperature, the tougher or the stronger the beads.
Okay.
This bead you're just about to make, even if it falls on the floor, it won't break. Something else with this clay is that after you bake it, after you fire it, this color turns or changes white.
Okay.
That's making it easy for us to paint on.
Amazing, that's wonderful. So it goes through that extreme heating process, then after that it's ready to be molded or...
Yeah, but to process the clay to it, we only add or we only put water, and this happens over there. We stir it up to make a paste, a very thick paste, which after 2 or 3 days, it's pushed into one of the big machines you see from here. We call it a filter press, and what it does is to compress or to drain excess water out. We do this exercise for 6 hours. And after 6 hours, we are left with a flat plate of clay in between the bags. Very soft and malleable. Now, something that we can make or we can mold
into a different shape. Yeah. Wonderful. That's great. Okay.
Now let me show you how we operate or how we learn the machines, because these machines are manually operated or they're manually learned.
Handmade and hand-painted beads with the sole purpose of providing a stable job and income for poor women. After the break, we get to see what beauty comes from simple clay. Keep it Shujaa.
Now this is the making department. The bead making starts here, but I'd like you to meet Mama Elizabeth. She's one of the pioneers of Kazuri Beads. Understand she has been with it since its year of inception. This was the year 1975. She has been it now for almost 41 years. Back in the year 1975 when they started it, there were only 2, but unfortunately the other one passed on sometimes last year. But these 2 ladies worked very hard to make or to create job opportunities for the rest of the team, 340. Now, the beads making, this is how it starts. She starts by getting the right volume. They each have a sizer. That's what she's doing. And she's going to do this. At most, they make about 300 beads a day. They don't have, but they don't work on a quarter. They do with the utmost of passion. And after she gets the correct size, what she do next is to load them or to make them into shapes. And this is one of the shapes we make. We train them on how to make these shapes. It takes them 3 to 4 months to train. They train on all aspects.
You're the people who do the training?
Yeah, they train it in-house done. We train them on how to make the beads, on how to paint them, and also on how to string them up. Yes, and because they change positions after every 2 days.
Oh, okay, so you don't get to stay at one particular station for
long?
long?
It will be very boring. They change after every 2 days. Okay. And this is one of our shape. After she makes it, she will air dry it out in the sun, or she'll bake it out in the sun about 4 hours, after which she'll put it in the oven or into the kiln. You do not put it in the kiln when it has got much water in it, because rapidly it explodes. Okay. And also by us keeping it out in the sun, we cut down some of the overhead cost. Electricity, because we heat up the oven by electricity, and electricity is very expensive. Yeah, this is how we cut down some of the costs. Yes. Now, after the 4 hours in the sun, the evening before she goes, you put it in the oven 10 hours. It bakes overnight to 1,000. The temperature gets to 1,000 degrees Celsius, and then the following morning, the color changes to this. Yeah, this is before and this is after the oven. And after this, the thing which is in between these 2, it's only the oven. And after this, now we paint them on, paint them on. We are not only making beads, we also make pots, and this one is done by men. We have 2 ways of making them. Have the potter's wheel and have the casting or molds. For the potter's wheel, we have only a guy who does this. His name is Francis. Let's take it. I understand it took him more than 2 years to practice, but he has been doing it for the last 16 years. On average, he makes 60, 70 pieces a day. He makes it look easy, but it's not. And this is how it's done. He makes it. In fact, it was, even the training was in-house done. Yeah. And after he makes all this, he again air dries them, but this takes long. It takes about a week or so to air dry. And like the bead is only a few hours because they're smaller in size. Yeah. And after he dries them, goes into the oven, and after the oven, we paint them on.
They're ready to be painted. And what's the situation of the men? We know that the women's program is helping single mothers. What about this side, the pottery and all?
Okay, also these are the less fortunate men in the society, or the privileged men in the society. They have family to feed or to look after, and then because of this, the owners of the project decided to bring in the men, and the men don't do the bead work. They want to do this, and also again the criteria was the less fortunate. Yeah, to recruit was the less fortunate in the society.
All right, great, wonderful. We can move on. John, I'm a bit curious. All the workers that we're seeing here, and they're in the hundreds, where do you source them from?
Okay, this community, these ladies don't belong to this community. They are from the villages around this area because the company itself is situated in Karen, one of the posh areas. We source them from the villages. Some are from Kawangware. We have some from Kibera. Others are from Gong. And we even have some who comes from Rongai. Yeah, this is where we are getting them, or this is where we source them.
All right, and how do you get them? Do you advertise for them to come, or is it somebody coming to ask for a placement? How does it work?
Okay, the advertisement is by word of mouth. We want to increase the number. We talk to the one we have already, the one that we have already. But what I understand is that there is a very long waiting list of ladies or people who want to join this project. You see, the expansion and the growth of the project depends on how well the business does.
That's very true.
Yeah, for the last 2 years, it has been quiet. It has not been doing well, but for maybe the next hour in future, maybe we'll get more ladies.
Be able to pick up. Now, we've noticed that you've expanded. You have some in Kisumu. There's another factory in Kisumu.
No, it's not factories. We have outlets in Kisumu. We have shops there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wonderful.
And we have in big shopping malls. We have outlets. Nakumak Junction, Village Market, or some of it.
So this is the only factory?
This is the only factory where the production of ceramic beads is done in the whole republic here. It's only in Kazuri Beads.
Okay, great. We can continue the tour.
Okay, this is the other way of making our pot. We had the potter's wheel. Now we have molds or cast. And we have Mr. Peter who does this. And we have these forms, and as you can see from here, we have got quite a number of them. And they are all in-house designed or made. Now for him to work on this, what he needs is a thick paste. It's the clay the ladies are working on. To it, he puts more water and he makes it thin or thinner. Just he pour it in through here, and then like the way he is doing it, just pour it in. And after he pours it in, he fills and give it time to set. It takes about 4-5 hours to set. A day like today, because the weather is not on our side, it might take about 6 hours. But on a sunny day, it takes at most 4 hours to set. And after set, he breaks or he opens them up. And what these two ladies are, or what these two guys are working on, is now some of the items we get from some of the cars. Okay, he pours it in the liquid clay. It gives it time to set. It's now setting. And as I said, 4-5 hours. After it sets, he opens or he breaks them up. What we need to get out is of this, what you need to get out is these things. And then opens it, and after he opens it, this mark gets it from one of these forms. This was gotten from here. Now what is happening here, this is the trimming and cutting. You trim off the excess, trim off what you don't need. Now what we cut off, this is all captured, then it's later reused. When he's done with this, he passes it to the lady. And what this lady does is to polish or to clean it up. And after she cleans it up, it's left on those stands to dry. A week, as I said also. And then after a week, she puts it in the oven or she puts it in the kiln. And after the first kiln, now that's when she paints them on.
Okay, when they're fully dried and ready.
Yeah, because in fact, again, after the first baking, this color turns or changes white.
Okay. It's a very intensive process.
Even the excess clay, the one we pour out, it's all captured. Now from here, after we are done with making, now what we are going to see next is how we put the beads in the oven, the first kiln or the first oven. Yeah, please come along. After the 4 hours out in the sun, the beads are put in the oven or in the kiln. And right here, this is one of our kiln. We have Rosalind who does this, but today it's her turn. For 2 days, it'll be somebody else's turn to put, to put the beads in here. And in the first oven or in the first kiln, they are put on a tray, or they put them in the oven on a tray, and they are touching. But as you will notice, in the second oven, they will not be touching. The reason why we are not separating them here is because we are drying up the water. This is where they are touching. But after second oven, after you peel them, they're not supposed to be touching. They're not supposed. Yeah, because they'll stick together. Now, in here, we'll have over 30,000 beads. Because this is what we make in a day.
So it has a capacity of 30,000 beads.
30,000 beads, yeah. At almost 30,000 beads. Yeah, because this is the production for a day. Yeah, it's a single day, 30,000 beads, yeah.
That's amazing. The output is really good.
Yeah, and I'm sure you are told about 60% of this is for export. So 60% also is for export. Yeah. So it's done, and these ovens are heated up by electricity. And we heat it up overnight because it gets too hot in here.
Okay. All right. And then from there, the heat can still be able to dry it.
It goes all night, and then it stops around 3 a.m. We have about 5 hours for them to cool off. We start our day at 8, from 3 to 8, have 5 hours for them to cool off, and then after this we off-roll it. Yes, and after this we put on the paints.
Wonderful. Okay.
Now, again, as I was saying, from there, now the beads goes to the glazing department. Now here, we give them instruction on how to paint them based on the orders that we are getting. Yes. Now, this is the glazing, or this is the painting department. In here, we have about 80 of them, and they each get a recipe, a very well detailed formula on how to paint them. And this one is based on the orders. And this is the exercise itself. And what these ladies are painting on, these are all water-based colors. These are watercolors. Though we don't make them here, we import them. Again, we get some of these from the UK and some from South Africa. After she paints on, the other thing she does is to air dry them. They each have a stand. She dries it for 2 to 3 hours, after which she put it back in the oven. Now remember, this is the second time these beads are to be in the oven.
Okay, so they have to go back again for a second round.
And the reason as to why we are putting them back into the oven is to make the colors vibrant. So right now the colors are very dull. The gloss itself, it's in the paint, you set it up by heating it up in the oven. Now this being the second time oven, the temperature is slightly higher. It's 1,280 degrees Celsius, unlike the first one. The first one was between 900 and 1,000 degrees Celsius for 10 hours. But this second firing, it's 11 hours. Yes. And then after this, it's now when you get the shine or the gloss on it.
All right. After that, then they're done. They can now be assembled.
Yes, but before we do this, we'll have to do the quality check. We have to make sure that they go through the quality check, because it's a must that we have to meet the export standard.
And who does the quality check?
See this, I'll take you through there once we're done with this. I would not suggest we see how we put them in the oven first.
Yes, most definitely.
No, this is now the second oven after they paint them. Now remember the first time, those beads were in a bowl, on a plate. Now this time, they have got these bricks, what I have with me, these are the bricks for the beads to rest on. Because they're not supposed to be touching. Now, this is how they do it. And again, make sure that they are not touching. It takes 3 to 4 hours to fill it up. In here, we have about 25 layers, because you stack it up all the way to the top. And it heats to 1,200 degrees Celsius.
So we're looking at 25 layers of beads after beads after beads.
Because each one of these ovens, you have 10 of them, and each takes 3,000 beads. Yeah, this equals or translates to 30,000 beads, as I said a moment ago. And again, it takes them 3 to 4 hours to fill up or to do this exercise. But again, it's their time. Today, it's their turn. After 2 days, it will be somebody else's turn. Yeah. Again, this will heat up or bake overnight. It gets too hot in here. How many 2 guys who remain behind to man the firing overnight? Yeah, just to monitor the firing overnight.
Okay, wonderful.
Women are considered the pillars of the community because of one main reason. When they are empowered, they empower the community around them. This was Lady Susan Wood's vision and it came to pass.
Inaendelea mzuri. Inanifurahisha.
On part 2 of this series, we interact with some of the women benefiting from Kazuri employment and get to see the end products of the whole process. I've been your host, Linda Kroeger. This is Shujaa. Keep it WTV Kenya.